The stars looked different from the observation deck of the Horizon *. Jack Porter pressed his hand against the cool glass and took a deep breath. After 15 years in the Earth Defense Force, he was about to make history. Humanity's first official contact with alien life. "Lieutenant Porter, they're ready for you in the briefing room," said a voice behind him. Jack turned to see Kelly Adams, the ship's communications officer. Her usual smile was replaced with nervous energy. "How do I look?" Jack asked, straightening his uniform. "Like someone about to meet aliens," Kelly replied with a small laugh. The briefing room was packed with senior officers when Jack arrived. Captain Sam Bennett stood at the front, his gray eyes serious as he nodded to Jack. "The Xorothy vessel will dock in 30 minutes, Captain Bennett said. "Lieutenant Porter will lead the greeting party with Dr. Winters and Officer Adams. Remember your training. This is what we've prepared for." Jack felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Humanity had detected the alien signals 3 years ago. After months of basic communication, the Xorothy had finally agreed to a face-to-face meeting. Dr. Lily Winters joined Jack in the hallway after the briefing. As the ship's lead exobiologist, she had studied every piece of information about the Xorothy. "Nervous?" she asked. "Terrified," Jack admitted. "What if I sneeze and start an interstellar war?" Lily laughed. "Their messages suggest they're peaceful. Just follow protocol and we'll be fine." The docking bay was cleaned and prepared for the visitors. A small platform was set up where the two groups would meet. Jack stood with Lily and Kelly, all three trying to control their breathing as the airlock hissed. The door slid open. Jack's first thought was that the Xorothy were beautiful. They stood about 7 feet tall with slender bodies covered in smooth blue-green skin that seemed to shimmer under the lights. Their 4 arms moved with grace, and their large eyes, 3 of them arranged in a triangle, blinked slowly as they took in the humans. 5 Xorothy entered the docking bay. The one in front wore an elaborate collar that Jack assumed indicated rank or status. "Welcome aboard the Horizon *, Jack said, remembering to speak slowly as instructed. "I am Lieutenant Jack Porter of Earth." The lead Xorothy made a flowing gesture with its upper arms. When it spoke, its voice was musical, like chimes in the wind. "We bring greetings from the Xorothy Confederation," it said through the translation device. "I am Senior Delegate Vaxlin." The meeting proceeded smoothly. Jack led the aliens to a prepared room where refreshments suitable for both species were available. He noticed something odd as they walked. The Xorothy kept a careful distance from the humans, despite their friendly words. "We have brought data crystals containing information about our culture and sciences," Vaxlin said, placing a container on the table. "We hope this exchange will benefit both our peoples." "We're honored," Jack replied. "We've prepared similar information about Earth." As Jack reached for the human data package, his hand caught the edge of the table. He felt a sharp sting and pulled back, seeing a small cut on his palm. "Just a small cut," he said with a smile, reaching for a tissue in his pocket. The reaction was immediate and shocking. All 5 Xorothy recoiled, their skin changing color to a pale white. Vaxlin made a sound like a soft alarm, and 2 of the aliens moved behind the others. "You are injured," Vaxlin said, the translator unable to hide the tremor in its voice. "It's nothing," Jack said, confused. "Just a small cut. It happens all the time." The aliens exchanged glances that Jack couldn't interpret. The atmosphere in the room had completely changed. "We did not realize," Vaxlin said carefully, "that humans were so resilient to physical damage." Jack pressed the tissue against his palm, noticing how intently the aliens watched the small spot of blood. "Is something wrong?" he asked. "No," Vaxlin replied too quickly. "We simply have much to learn about each other." The meeting continued, but the easy flow was gone. Jack caught Lily's eye across the table. She had noticed it too. Something about his minor injury had deeply disturbed their visitors. What exactly did these aliens know, or fear, about humans? 1 week after the first meeting, Jack found himself on a shuttle heading to the massive Galactic Council station. The structure hung in space like a silver wheel, bigger than any human-made object. Beside him, Lily pressed her face to the viewport, taking in everything with wide eyes. "I never imagined this," she whispered. "So many different species in one place." Captain Bennett nodded from his seat across from them. "Remember why we're here. The Clorethi say this is a simple introduction to the Council, but I want you both watching for anything unusual." Jack hadn't forgotten the strange reaction to his cut. In the days since, the Clorethi had been polite but distant. They shared technology and scientific knowledge, but avoided personal questions about their society. The shuttle docked at the station with a gentle bump. When the doors opened, Jack's first impression was of color and noise. Hundreds of aliens moved through a vast docking area. Some looked almost human, while others were completely different from anything on Earth. Vaxilin waited for them at the entrance. "Welcome to Council Station. Representatives from 32 species gather here to govern shared space." 32. Lily asked. "And humans are the newest." "The last," Vaxilin said, then quickly added, "For now." They followed Vaxilin through crowded halls. Jack noticed how other aliens watched them, conversations stopping as they passed. It wasn't hostility he saw in those alien eyes, but something like caution, maybe even fear. The council chamber was a huge round room with raised platforms arranged in tiers. Vaxilin led them to seats in an upper section. "The council is discussing trade routes today," Vaxilin explained. "Not exciting, but it will show you how we work together." Jack watched as aliens of all shapes and sizes debated. The translation devices they'd been given allowed them to understand everything. Most of it was boring, just as Vaxilin had warned. Then two delegations began arguing. One group had thick gray skin and heavy builds. The others were smaller with red-tinted scales. The argument grew louder. The Vorex accused the Madurians of crossing their territory without permission, Vaxilin whispered. The gray-skinned Vorex delegate pounded a fist on the podium. "Madurian ships have been spotted in the Gareth Nebula. This violates Treaty 6. The red-scaled Madurian hissed back. "We have rights to those mining zones. Your patrols fired on our survey vessel." The room grew tense. Several council members moved between the angry delegates. The Vorex leader pushed forward, looking ready to attack. Then one of the mediators whispered something to the Vorex. Jack couldn't hear the words, but he saw the Vorex leader's eyes shift up to where the humans sat. "Remember, the humans are watching," the mediator said, loud enough for Jack's translator to catch. The effect was immediate. The Vorex stepped back, aggression fading. "We will submit this matter for formal review," the Vorex announced, voice suddenly calm. The Madurian delegation also relaxed. The crisis ended as quickly as it had begun. Jack leaned toward Lily. "Did you hear that? They stopped because of us." Lily nodded, eyes narrowed. "I've been counting. That's the 7th time today I've seen aliens react strangely to our presence." After the session, they were taken to guest quarters. When they were alone, Captain Bennett called them together. "Something isn't right," he said quietly. "These species have been in space for thousands of years. They should see us as primitive newcomers, but they're treating us like we're dangerous." "It's like they know something about humans that we don't know ourselves," Lily said. Jack looked out the window at the stars. "We need to find out what they're not telling us." "Dr. Winters," Bennett said, "you've been analyzing their behavior. What's your take?" Lily pulled out her tablet. "I've documented 23 instances of unusual reactions to humans. It's not hatred or disgust. It's closer to respect mixed with fear. Like how you treat a dangerous animal," Jack added. "I've made contact with a young Xorethi scientist named Zexlar," Lily continued. "He seems more open than the others, less guarded." Bennett nodded. "Good. See what you can learn from him." Carefully, Jack stared at the alien cityscape outside their window. "There's a story here, one that involves Earth somehow. And we need to find out what it is, Captain Bennett said. The HFY science building looked like a giant bubble made of glass. Lily walked slowly, trying not to show her excitement as Zexalar led her through the research facility. The young HFY scientist moved with a nervous energy, his blue-green skin shifting slightly in color whenever their eyes met. "Your work on Earth bacteria is impressive," Zexalar said, his translator making his musical voice sound flat. "We have similar organisms in our oceans." "Thank you for showing me your labs," Lily replied. "Earth science has so much to learn from the HFY." Jack walked behind them, watching other scientists react as they passed. 3 weeks had passed since their arrival at the council station, and the humans had made little progress understanding the strange way aliens treated them. Zexalar stopped at a clear door. "This is our historical biology section. Would you like to see?" Inside, the room held display cases of fossils and preserved specimens. Zexalar grew more animated as he showed them ancient life forms from his world. "And what's that section?" Jack asked, pointing to a sealed door at the far end of the room. Zexalar's color changed to a pale blue. "That contains records from the Great War." "It's not usually shown to visitors." "Great War?" Lily asked, keeping her voice casual. "We've heard references to that. Was it recent?" "No," Zexalar said. "It happened long ago. Over 50,000 of your Earth years." Jack and Lily exchanged glances. That was around the time early humans were developing on Earth. "What species fought in this war?" Jack asked. Zexalar's 3 eyes blinked rapidly. "Many. Almost all council races were involved. It was a terrible time." Lily moved closer to the young scientist. Over the past weeks, she had built a careful friendship with him, sharing meals and discussing science. She had learned that Zexalar was something of an outsider among his people, more curious and less bound by tradition. "Zexalar," she said gently, "we've noticed something strange since we arrived. The way people treat humans is different. Does it have something to do with this war?" The alien looked away. "I should not speak of such things." "Please," Jack said. "We're trying to understand. If Earth is connected to this history somehow, we need to know." Zexalar was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he spoke in a low voice. "There are legends, stories told to young ones about the time before the council was strong." "What kind of legends?" Lily asked. "They speak of a great enemy that nearly destroyed all thinking life, and of warriors who fought when others could not." "Were these warriors human?" Jack pressed. "I cannot say more," Zexalar said, "but I will send something to your quarters tonight. An old text. It is not forbidden to share, but it is not spoken of often." That night, Jack, Lily, and Captain Bennett gathered in their private room to review what Zexalar had sent. The file contained fragments of what appeared to be an ancient poem or story, translated into simple English. "They came without ships, without beams, without shields," Bennett read aloud. "With only their will and simple tools, they stood against the darkness." "This could be talking about primitive humans," Lily said. "The timing matches human development on Earth." Jack read another passage. "Remember this truth passed through the stars. We don't kill humans. To face them is to face your end. To threaten them is to invite fury beyond measure." "It's a warning," Bennett said. "But why would advanced races fear primitive humans?" Lily shook her head. "Maybe we weren't always primitive. Or maybe there's something about humans these aliens understand that we don't." Jack stared at the final lines of the text. "They feel pain but do not yield to it. They face death without fear when protecting their own. They are few, but their strength is beyond counting. Let them sleep on their world. Let them grow in their own time. We don't kill humans, and may the stars help any who try." "We need to learn more," Jack said. "This is just a fragment of the story." Bennett nodded. Zexalar mentioned records from the Great War. "If we could access those, I'll ask him, Lily said. He trusts me more now. Jack looked out at the alien station beyond their window. Whatever happened thousands of years ago, it left these advanced species with one clear rule. We don't kill humans. The question is, Bennett added, why? The archives of the Xorethi homeworld stretch deep underground. Maya Rodriguez followed Zexalar through narrow hallways lined with glowing data crystals. As the ship's communication specialist, she had a natural talent for languages and patterns that made her the perfect choice for this mission. How much further? She asked. Not far, Zexalar replied. The oldest records are kept in the deepest sections. 2 days had passed since Lily convinced Zexalar to help them access the archives. Captain Bennett had stayed on the council station with half the crew while Jack, Lily, and Maya traveled to the Xorethi homeworld. The council approved your visit to study our culture, Zexalar said quietly, but they did not approve access to these specific records. We appreciate the risk you're taking, Jack said. They stopped at a sealed door. Zexalar placed his hand on a panel, and his skin changed color in a complex pattern. The door slid open. These records require special permissions, he explained. As a junior science officer, I should not have access, but my family line has maintained these archives for generations. I learned the access codes from my parent. Inside, the room was cool and dark. A central console glowed with soft blue light. This contains visual records from the Great War, Zexalar said. It is rarely viewed, even by my people. He touched several controls, and a three-dimensional image appeared above the console. The scene showed a grassy plain with simple human settlements, huts made of wood and animal skins. The humans wore primitive clothing and carried spears tipped with stone. These images were taken from orbit, Zexalar explained. This is Earth, 50,000 years ago. That's impossible, Lily whispered. No alien civilization had contact with Earth back then. That is what your people believe, Zexalar said. The truth is different. The image changed to show shadows moving across the land. Strange creatures appeared, tall, insect-like beings with multiple limbs and armored bodies. The Devourers, Zexalar said. They came to many worlds. They consumed all life they found. The scene shifted again. Now they watched as the primitive humans formed lines of defense around their settlements. The insect creatures attacked with weapons that fired energy beams. Maya gasped as humans fell. But then something happened that made all three visitors lean forward in shock. The humans didn't retreat, even as many died. They kept fighting. When spears broke, they used rocks. When rocks were gone, they fought with bare hands. A small group of humans charged directly at a much larger group of the insect creatures, creating a distraction while others led children to safety. My God, Jack whispered. They're sacrificing themselves. Zexalar nodded. This behavior was unknown among sentient species. All other races we encountered would retreat when defeat was certain. They would surrender to save themselves. The images continued, showing humans fighting with incredible determination. Even badly wounded humans continued to attack the invaders. The Devourers had conquered half the galaxy, Zexalar said. No species had successfully resisted them. But on Earth, they found something different. Humans, Lily said. Yes, technologically primitive, but with a spirit unlike any race we had seen. Your people fought beyond all reasonable limits. You continued when pain would have stopped others. You sacrificed yourselves for your groups without hesitation. Another scene appeared, showing alien ships, not the insect creatures, but different vessels, arriving in Earth's orbit. The early council races observed the human resistance, Zexalar explained. They were amazed. They decided to help. Aliens helped ancient humans, Maya asked. Yes. Council ships destroyed the Devourer vessels in orbit. Ground forces helped eliminate the remaining invaders on Earth. Why don't we have any record of this? Jack asked. After the victory, there was debate about what to do with humans, Zexalar said. Your species showed remarkable abilities in battle. Some council members wanted to bring humans into space to help fight the Devourers elsewhere. But they didn't, Lily guessed. No, others feared what humans might become with advanced technology. You were too unpredictable, too willing to fight, to die. It was decided to remove all evidence of the contact and place Earth under quarantine. Jack stared at the images of his ancient ancestors fighting against impossible odds. And that's when the saying started. We don't kill humans. Yes, Zexler said. It began as a practical warning based on your species' unusual resistance to defeat. It later became something more, a recognition of something the galaxy had never seen before. The journey back to the council station was quiet. Jack, Lily, and Maya, each lost in their own thoughts about what they had discovered. The Horizon moved through space at top speed, carrying their newfound knowledge. I still can't believe it, Maya said as they sat together in the ship's small dining area. Our ancestors fought an alien invasion, and nobody remembers. Lily nodded. The council races removed all evidence. They helped defeat the Devourers, then left Earth alone. Not just alone, Jack added. They watched us. For 50,000 years, they'd been watching humanity develop, afraid of what we might become. Captain Bennett called the full crew together when they reached the station. In a secure room, they shared the archives recordings with everyone. So the saying, "we don't kill humans," isn't about humans being special or sacred, Officer Kelly Adams said after watching the footage. It's a warning. They're afraid of us. Not exactly afraid, Lily corrected. It's more complex than that. They respect our abilities but fear what those abilities might mean for the galaxy. Bennett stood up. The question is, what do we do with this information? Earth needs to know. There's more, Zexler said quietly from the corner where he sat. Everyone turned to look at the HFY scientist. He had insisted on joining them, risking his position by helping the humans learn the truth. More records? Jack asked. No, something I learned from my family history, Zexler said. The decision to quarantine Earth was not unanimous. Some council races argued that humans deserved to know the truth, to join galactic society. Why didn't they win the argument? Maya asked. Because of what happened on other worlds, Zexler explained. Humans were not the only species to fight the Devourers, but you were the only ones who did not break. On 12 other worlds, native species fought and eventually surrendered or fled. Only Earth stood firm. Jack leaned forward, and that frightened the council. Yes, the records show that humans displayed traits no other species possessed to the same degree. Your pain tolerance exceeds all known sentient species. Your willingness to sacrifice for your group has no equal. Your determination in the face of certain defeat confused even the Devourers, who had conquered thousands of worlds. The room fell silent as the humans considered this information. They thought we were dangerous, Bennett said finally. No, Zexler corrected. They thought you were necessary but unpredictable. The HFY delegate who first made contact with your ship told me something important. The quarantine was not just to protect the galaxy from humans. It was also to protect humans. Protect us from what? Jack asked. From becoming something you were not meant to be. The council feared that if humans gained advanced technology too quickly, your natural aggression and determination would make you conquerors. Lily shook her head. That's not who we are. Isn't it? Zexlar asked gently. Your history shows many wars, many conquests, but also cooperation and peace, Maya argued. Humans are complex. That complexity is what the council hoped would develop if humans evolved naturally, Zexler said. They believed that given time, humans would balance their warrior spirit with wisdom. Jack looked at the faces of his crewmates. So the question remains, did they make the right choice? Are we ready to join the galaxy now? Bennett's communications device chimed with an urgent signal. He looked at the screen, his face growing serious. We may find out sooner than we expected, he said. The Council has called an emergency session. All species are required to attend. What's happened? Jack asked. Bennett looked up, his eyes grave. Long-range scanners have detected something at the edge of known space. Multiple ships of unknown design. Zexelar's skin turned almost white. No, he whispered. It cannot be. What is it? Lily asked him. The energy signatures, Zexelar said. They match old records. If it's true, then the Devourers have returned. Jack looked at his fellow humans, seeing the same thought in their eyes. 50,000 years ago, humanity had fought these creatures without advanced technology. Now, humanity would face them again, this time as equals among the stars. The Council needs to make a decision, Bennett said. And so do we. The Council chamber was packed with representatives from every species. The normal order and calm were gone, replaced by noise and fear. Jack stood with Captain Bennett and the others at the back of the room, watching the chaos unfold. On the main screen, images showed 3 distant planets. Then, one by one, the images went dark. 3 outer colony worlds have gone silent. The Madurian speaker announced, his voice shaking. No communications for 26 hours. A murmur of fear swept through the chamber. The energy signatures are confirmed, a tall, thin alien said from the center platform. The Devourers have returned. Panic erupted. Some delegates shouted for immediate evacuation of outer worlds. Others argued for sending warships. Many simply called for retreat to their home systems. We must abandon the outer territories. The Vorex leader bellowed. Pull back to defensible positions around our core worlds. And leave billions to die. Another delegate countered. Better billions than all of us, the Vorex replied. Jack looked at Bennett. They're falling apart, he whispered. Bennett nodded grimly. Fear does that. Vaxilin approached them, his skin a pale shade Jack had never seen before. You have learned our history, the Torethi said. Now you see our shame. We have grown comfortable in peace. The warrior spirit that once united us has faded. What about Sorathi warships? Lily asked. Surely the Council has defenses. We have ships, Vaxilin admitted. But our tactics, our courage. He couldn't finish the sentence. Jack stepped forward. Let me speak to them. Bennett grabbed his arm. Jack, think carefully. This isn't our fight yet. Isn't it? Jack replied. If Earth had fallen 50,000 years ago, humanity wouldn't exist. We owe these people, even if they don't know it. Bennett hesitated, then nodded. Go ahead, Lieutenant. Jack moved through the crowd, climbing to the speaking platform. The aliens fell silent, watching him with a mixture of curiosity and unease. My name is Lieutenant Jack Porter of Earth, he began. My people are new to your council. We do not know all your ways or your history. He paused, looking around the chamber. But we do know something about fighting when the odds seem impossible. Humans understand what it means to stand against an enemy that seems unstoppable. What would you know of the Devourers? A delegate called out. Jack looked at Zexelar, who nodded slightly. More than you might think, Jack replied. Recently, we learned that 50,000 years ago, the Devourers came to Earth. Our ancestors fought them with stone spears and raw courage. A shocked silence fell over the room. They helped us then, Jack continued, pointing to the oldest delegates. Your ancestors helped drive the Devourers from Earth. Now we can help you. What could humans offer? The Vorex leader asked, but with less hostility than before. Fresh eyes, new tactics, and something else that seems in short supply right now. Determination. Captain Bennett stepped forward to join Jack. The Horizon is small compared to your warships, but we volunteered to join your defense fleet. The council members looked at each other. Jack could see doubt warring with hope in their alien faces. He speaks the truth, Zexelar announced, stepping forward. I have seen the ancient records. Humans have qualities we need in this fight. The chamber grew quiet as the Sorathi High Counselor rose from her seat. Her voice was deep and commanding. For thousands of years, we have passed down a warning. We don't kill humans. It began as fear of your kind, Lieutenant Porter. But perhaps we misunderstood its true meaning. She turned to address the entire council. Perhaps the warning was not about what humans might do to us, but about what humans could teach us, how to face an enemy that seems unbeatable, how to stand firm when defeat seems certain. Jack stood straight. Earth is part of this galaxy now. Our fight is your fight. The High Counselor nodded slowly. Very well. The Defense Force will be assembled. The Horizon will join our fleet. As Jack returned to his crew, Maya whispered, "Do you think we can really make a difference against an enemy that conquered half the galaxy?" Jack looked at the alien faces watching them, still cautious, but now with something new. Hope. "I don't know," he admitted, "but we have to try. That's what humans do." The Horizon flew alongside alien ships so large they made the human vessel look like a toy. The defense fleet jumped through space toward the attacked colonies, a mix of 31 ships from 15 different species. Captain Bennett had managed to send a brief message to Earth about their discovery and current mission, but there wasn't time to wait for a response. Jack stood on the bridge, watching the massive Xorathi flagship through the view screen. The ship, named Light of Dawn in the human translation, carried the fleet commander and 500 crew members. 5 minutes until we reached the Tellus system, Kelly reported from the communication station. Bennett nodded. All stations, prepare for possible combat. The plan was simple but dangerous. The fleet would emerge near the third planet of the Tellus system, where the last distress signal had come from. They would assess the situation and, if possible, engage the Devourer ships. Jumping in 3, 2, 1, the pilot announced. The stars blurred, then snapped back into place. The fleet emerged above a blue-green planet. Multiple contacts. Maya called from her station. Detecting 7 ships in orbit. Energy signatures matched the Devourer records. On the screen, dark shapes moved against the stars. The Devourer ships looked like giant insects, with segmented bodies and long pointed extensions. "They detected us," Kelly said. "The Xorathi flagship is hailing the fleet." The alien commander appeared on screen. "All ships maintain formation. These are smaller Devourer vessels, likely a scouting force. We outnumber them. Prepare to engage." The alien ships moved into attack positions. The Xorathi flagship led the way, its massive weapons powering up. "The Devourers are changing course," Maya reported. They're attacking directly." Jack watched as the enemy ships accelerated toward the center of the fleet, ignoring the larger vessels and targeting smaller ones. "They're smarter than before," Bennett said. "They're adapting." The space around them erupted in weapons fire. 2 smaller council ships exploded almost immediately. The Devourer vessels moved with unexpected speed, dodging most return fire. "The Xorathi flagship is taking heavy damage," Kelly reported. "Their shields are failing." On the screen, they watched as 3 Devourer ships concentrated fire on the Light of Dawn Explosions rippled along its hull. "The flagship is ordering all ships to fall back to safe positions," Kelly said, listening to her earpiece. They're abandoning ship. The commander has ordered evacuation." "How many are still aboard?" Bennett asked. "Sensors show over 200 life signs still on the flagship," Maya answered. "Their evacuation pods are launching, but many sections are cut off by damage." Jack looked at Captain Bennett. "Sir, we can help. The Horizon is small enough to dock with their emergency airlock." Bennett hesitated only a moment. "Pilot, bring us alongside the Xorathi flagship. We're going to assist with evacuation." "Captain," Maya said, "the Xorathi commander is ordering all ships to retreat. He says the battle is lost." "We're not leaving people behind," Bennett replied firmly. "Lily, Jack, Maya, suit up. You're going aboard." Minutes later, Jack led a team of 6 humans through the emergency airlock and onto the damaged Xorathi ship. Fires burned in multiple sections, and the air was filled with smoke. "Life signs strongest that way," Lily said, pointing down a corridor with her scanner. They moved quickly through the ship. The first Xorathi they found were huddled in a sealed compartment, cut off by a collapsed bulkhead. "We're from the Horizon Asterisk," Jack called through his translator. "We're here to help you." The aliens looked shocked as the humans cleared debris and helped them through the narrow opening. In another section, they found injured Xorathi trapped by fallen equipment. Without hesitation, Maya and 2 security officers lifted the heavy metal, straining at the weight while Jack pulled the aliens free. "Why are you doing this?" one wounded Xorathi asked as Jack helped him up. "Your commander ordered retreat." "We don't leave people behind," Jack said simply. For an hour, they'd moved through the dying ship, finding and rescuing Xorathi crew members. The other alien ships had retreated to safer positions, but the Horizon Asterisk remained, taking occasional fire as it continued the rescue operation. "The ship's core is destabilizing," Lily warned as they led another group of survivors toward the airlock. "We have maybe 10 minutes. Still 15 life signs detected in the forward section," Maya reported. "We keep going," Jack ordered. They pressed on, passing burning sections and stepping over fallen debris. When they reached the forward section, they found a group of young Xorathi scientists trapped behind a sealed door. "Stand back," Jack called, using an emergency tool to force the door. As the door opened, the ship shuddered violently. 5 minutes until core breach," Lily warned. "Everyone move quickly," Jack ordered, helping the aliens toward the exit. A Xorathi officer gripped Jack's arm. "You came back for us when our own ships retreated. Why?" Jack continued moving, supporting an injured alien. "Because that's what humans do." 2 weeks after the battle, the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council looked different. The curved walls now displayed images of Earth alongside those of other member worlds. Jack stood with Captain Bennett, Lily, Maya, and Kelly, wearing formal Earth Defense Force uniforms as they faced the assembled delegates. The Xorathi High Counselor spoke from the center platform. "Today, we officially welcome Earth as a full member of the Galactic Council." Applause and musical tones, the alien equivalent of clapping, filled the chamber. "Humanity joins us at a critical time," the High Counselor continued. "The Devourers have returned, but they face a galaxy more united than before." Jack looked at the faces around him. The fear he had seen during the emergency session was not gone, but it was now mixed with determination. Something had changed. After the Horizon Asterisk had rescued the Xorathi crew, the story had spread through the fleet. While alien ships retreated according to their battle protocols, humans had risked their lives to save strangers. It was exactly the quality that had impressed the Council races 50,000 years ago. The High Counselor gestured to Captain Bennett. Following the successful evacuation of the Asterisk Light of Dawn Asterisk, Captain Bennett shared human battle tactics with our commanders. These tactics have already been used to drive back Devourer scouting forces in 2 systems. Bennett stepped forward. "Earth is honored to join the Council and to share what we know. But we have much to learn from all of you as well." Indeed, the High Counselor agreed. This is why the Council has voted to establish the first human embassy on the Xorathi homeworld and to send representatives to Earth. Jack felt a surge of pride. Humanity had moved from quarantined unknowns to respected allies in just a few weeks. After the ceremony, the crew gathered in a quiet room with Vaxilin and Zexalar. "I'm returning to Earth tomorrow," Bennett told them. "The Council wants me to brief Earth's leaders personally about the Devourer threat and our new alliance." "And the rest of us?" Lily asked. "You and Jack will establish the first human embassy on the Xorathi homeworld," Bennett replied. "Maya and Kelly will continue with the Horizon Asterisk under a new captain. The ship will join the defense fleet permanently." Zexelar's skin rippled with colors that Jack had learned meant excitement. I have been assigned as science liaison to your embassy. We have much knowledge to share. There's something I still don't understand, Jack said, turning to Vaxilin. Why did the saying, "We don't kill humans," become so important if Earth was quarantined? Why keep reminding everyone about us? Vaxilin's three eyes blinked slowly. It began as a practical warning, yes, but it became more. A reminder of what was possible. When species argued or threatened war, the saying was repeated not just as a warning, but as an ideal to reach for. An ideal? Maya asked. Yes, Vaxilin said. To be like humans in their best moments. Determined, protective of others, willing to sacrifice for a greater good. These are qualities all thinking beings can admire, even if they fear them too. Later, Jack stood at a viewport, watching the stars. Lily joined him, holding a datapad. I just received the translation of the full legend, she said. The complete version of the text Zexelar gave us. What does it say? Jack asked. Most of it we already know. But the ending is interesting. She read aloud. We don't kill humans, for they have shown us the best of what thinking beings can become. They fight not for conquest, but for protection. They die not in fear, but in purpose. And in doing so, they taught the stars themselves that strength is measured not in weapons, but in the heart that wields them. Jack smiled. So we weren't quarantined just because they feared us. No, Lily agreed. They were waiting for us to be ready, waiting for the day when humans would join them as equals. And now we have, Jack said, looking out at the stars again. Beyond the window, ships from a dozen worlds moved in formation, preparing for the battles to come. This time, humans would fight alongside the other species, not as primitive warriors, but as equals. The saying, "We don't kill humans," had protected Earth for 50,000 years. Now, it would take on a new meaning, a standard for all species to reach for. Jack thought about the countless generations of humans who had lived and died, never knowing their place in the galaxy's history. They would know now, and together with their new allies, they would face whatever the future held. Ready to make history? Lily asked. Jack nodded. That's what humans do.